Coming at you live from DNHQ2 in beautiful, where? South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. Powered by the Overtime Podcast Network. What is up, Dodgers Nation? It's your boy, I'm Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram.
We're powered by so many awesome programs.
Powered.
Yeah, much power.
Tonight I am powered by Sailor Jerry. He's not a captain yet.
I thought it was a Moscow Mule.
He's not the captain now.
Disappointed.
No, this was one of the ones that was here. But look at, it's not one of those fancy ones like they have at the stadium.
Really make like a clean.
No, hold on, wait, maybe I could like. This is gonna be great on the podcast side.
Yeah, this guy holding the fake Moscow Mule. You know, he's Real FRG on the internets, as it were.
Yeah.
I'm Brooke. You can find me at BrookeMeat3 on Twitter and Instagram, and you can find all of us at DodgersNation.com, can't you?
Absolutely. And we already got a hey from Augustine, whatever you are. Thank you for hanging out over there on Facebook. Give us your questions. Give us your comments. Give us all that fun stuff. On today's show, you guys can see it over there on the stream. On I think it's over here, like on my right shoulder. Hey, I got it right. Stage right. We're going to preview. This is sort of it's a pregame today. We're pre-gaming, as you can see. Oh,
pre-gaming the pregame.
I'll be with you here. There we go.
I opened mine before we started. I didn't think about that.
Well, you just got here like literally seconds before.
You walk in the door, sit in hair and makeup for a second, ready to go.
Is that what that was?
That's what we call Stan, hair and makeup.
Oh, thanks, Dan. We appreciate it. But we're going to preview the series against the Nationals, which really it should be a lot better than it looks on paper. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how to quite describe that, but we'll do that in a minute or two. Dodgers, who's hot, who's not, featuring Cody Bellinger, kind of since the shoulder. We're going to play. I'm going to call it point counterpoint. Huh. There's a lot of pointing going on today. Tweet of the week, which is just glorious. But first, we have to give a shout out to our partner, to our friend. You guys see them, that little bug over there in the right-hand corner. Yes, sportscaster.com. At Sportscaster, you can be the star of your own show with built-in studio graphics and access to special events. You can look like a pro and sound like a pro, like that. If you like to live stream or game or just be your own broadcaster, we've done it before. We tried it. It's fun, and Sportcaster makes it fun. So visit Sportscaster today. That's CASTR. But, of course, after our stream and even after the game, because Dodgers are going to win tonight. And don't forget, like I already said, live stream. Let us know where you guys are watching the game, where you guys are watching our stream tonight. We got some people already happening in the stream, or some people happening in the stream here. 559 Cry. Why are you crying?
No cry.
Hello, fellow Dodger fans. How the hell are you? I'm swell. How are you?
I'm doing just swell.
I'm doing super. We got Leo. Is at the
De
game.
La Rosa.
Leo's at the game.
That's cool. Leo's getting a Cody Seger bobblehead.
I know. Tell them about that one. You wanted to go get that
there
ticket.
was a ticket website that listed him as a Cody Seger bobblehead. And almost made me go to the game and skip this just because I really needed a Cody Seger bobblehead.
Yeah, I hear Cody Seger has a bad elbow, bad shoulder, and a bad hip. Yeah.
To really get the full package with that one.
That ticket was money.
Jason McClure. Oh, the Jason McClure.
The newest, one of the newest and brightest and most beautiful here at DN.
Part of the Dodgers Nation. He says we need one of those Dodger mule mugs.
I know. After you get your fourth one, we need. I was like, "What? Who is that guy?" I mean, we need to go from there. But hey, that's cool. Dodger Stadium, you can get the Moscow Mules and let you keep the cup. Who'd have knew?
You get to keep it?
Allegedly.
I guess that makes sense if they're giving it to you to drink out of.
The very same.
The math adds up there, ladies and gentlemen.
We got Filipino Bueller in Portland, Oregon. What's going on? Tim in the stream. What's going on, Tim? Let's give Tim the clap.
Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers, how you doing, buddy?
Jermaine is really upset about armchair managers.
Yeah,
which is cool. I like that.
That's
I like the passion early on.
That's been, sort of the thing. Everybody wants to be an armchair manager. So we do. Hey, when you go to the World Series two years in a row, you kind of have. I guess we can call them expectations. I don't know.
No.
Oh. No. Who else we got?
We got Don Radcliffe. We got a lot of people up in Oregon and Washington, like in the Pacific Northwest, is popping off today. Don Radcliffe is up there. Welcome, Don. I imagine it's probably cold up there because it's always cold up there. Perez1619 over on Twitch. Hello from rain, snowy Denver. rain snowy.
Yeah,
That sounds like hell.
they played a snowy game in Denver.
Oh, they did.
today.
Yeah, Arenado hit a home run in that snow, didn't he?
Never heard of her.
I've never played in snow because obviously I'm from here, but I imagine it's pretty awful. I've played in Big Bear.
Those Bears?
I've just played in Big Bear, and the ball went far. That's about all I can.
Proud of you.
I was like, that's what it's like playing at Coors Field.
Very, very proud
We
of you.
got Lou Dina Capo. May should come up. I'm assuming that they mean the pitcher and not the month because May already came up.
Yes, May is here.
It's gonna be May, and it is.
It's gonna be May.
But we agree with you on that one. I think there's a nice little article on that over at DodgersNation.com that you should go check out because that is
Marshall,
a well-written article.
Marshall put together a very nice, It makes a lot of sense. You're trying to win some sports ball games.
Are you telling me it makes a lot of sense? As in May? Because May sounds like makes.
I hate you.
And it makes it?
I'm going to end your life right
Filipino Peeler says it's in the 80s in Portland, so he updated us. I appreciate that. It's not in the 80s here. It's pretty cold. And
Respect.
AJ Gonzalez, friend of the show, called them arm hair managers.
There we go.
That's classic. I like that. That's a good one, AJ. Dan Smith. Dan from Portland. I'm telling you, man. All these people from the Pacific Northwest tuning in today. I think this Mariners are losing fans the way they're losing games lately.
Yeah. Remember that time when the Mariners were good?
Oh,
Me neither.
The first Japan series. Gonzo, we got Gonzo on the broadcast, guys. We're good. Gonzo's here. Hey, Gonzo.
It's
time to party. Says, hey, guys, how's it going? It's going well.
So we're at 25 wins. First team to be at 25 wins. We're 11 games over 500. We're, mere percentage points behind having the best winning percentage in baseball. 3 games ahead of Arizona. 3.5 games ahead of San Diego. Now, the surprisingly lowly Washington Nationals come to town without Bryce Harper for the first time since 2012.
Where's Bryce Harper?
They couldn't find him.
Oh.
He said he wasn't here because he was going to get fined or something like that.
Is that
but
what it is?
Dodgers are killing it at home, and the Nats are struggle busing. They're struggle busing and a half.
I just got to bring this up for a second. Do you know the team that's beating us in win percentage?
Tampa.
It's not Tampa.
It's the Twins.
It's the Twins.
What up, Minnesota?
The freaking Minnesota Twins are 23-12.
That's a 65 World Series repeat right there, right?
I guess. Well, to be fair, there's literally nobody in the AL Central. Nobody. I think Billy Hamilton's in the AL Central, and that's it. So, give him credit where credit's due. That's an impressive record for. Hats off to the Twinkies, as it were. I think is the line from Little Big League.
All right, if it's in a movie, I'll allow it.
Hats off to the Twinkies?
Yes.
Yeah, he calls them the Twinkies. It's Boomer.
Oh.
Leave it alone. It's fine.
I know you got a little quote there from Rick. Rick killing the game today on Twitter. And, of course, congrats to Rick. He quit his daytime job, his real people job, and is going to be there. It's real. He's going to be there every step of the way. Rick and the Booth Boys 2019 in the house. Dropping heat about Hershiser's little pocket squares.
Yeah, that means Hershiser is going to be in a much better place this season.
Oh, yeah.
I think Hershiser, he should have just paid to make sure that Rick could stay on himself because he needs him, man.
It's probably if you see Bulldog without his World Series ring, he hawked it.
He had to hire Rick
to get more.
Rick had said that although he only picked up one win against them last year, he owned them in his 4 LA starts, and that is referring to Patrick Korbin versus Rich Hill in this series of mixed aces. And I had a little series preview that I put up on the internet machine. But Rick has had a lot to say about the Nationals just in general, because one of the things that I had noticed in looking at them before I wrote up that article, because I hadn't really been paying much attention to the Bryce Harper-less Nationals.
Yeah,
they're actually not very good.
Quite terrible.
The Dodgers, on the other hand, are killing it at home. In 19 home games this season, this is from Mr. Rick Krajewski. In 19 home games, the Dodgers are 15-4 with a plus 51 run differential.
Both best
plus
in the big
51.
leagues.
Both of them
by
are the best in the league.
A wide margin.
And to give you a point of reference for that, the Giants, they've scored 50 runs at home all season. 16 games, and they've scored 50 runs at home, and we have a plus 51 run differential. The Braves, granted, helped us out tremendously with that run differential over this past series that we had with them, but also Mr. Hyunjin Ryu really pulling out the shutout for us and really helping us on that run differential, didn't he?
Wasn't it crazy to find that there hadn't been a Dodger shutout since 2016?
It kind of makes sense on one hand because that's not the Dodgers pitching style anymore. Like you had pointed out the other day when what's his name? The guy who has no name but has thrown 2 no-hitters. Fears. Mike.
Oh, Fires.
Fires Fears.
As the kids say.
So you had pointed out 130-something pitch no-hit effort is probably not worth it early on in the season. Yeah. And that is 100% true. I mean, the whole name of the game is protecting arms for later in the year now, and that's the point. If you're throwing a no-hitter October, I get that. Like, keep the hot hand in. But it's just not, it doesn't carry the same weight as it used to. And so unless you're throwing a Maddox, why keep your pitcher in there? You got a reliever for a reason. You got a closer that you pay a ton of money for a reason.
Yeah, plus with the Dodgers, that's been the biggest thing for the longest time is that you want to keep Dave Doc, he loves keeping people relevant. He loves keeping people involved. And I think it was Joe who had said, or somebody had said at the end of it, end of the broadcast last night, there was only like 4 1/3 innings out of the relief staff for the entire Atlanta series, which is great for old school baseball, but it's very not Dodger baseball because now you have all these guys, you don't know where they're at. You have some super rested up arms. I'm a little curious to see what goes on here. Of course, it was probably you would have maybe liked to see Kenley get in one of those games. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hear you. It's okay. I promise.
I did like to see Joe Kelly come in though in that situation. Yes. And I mean, I think it was JT that said like that was the Joe Kelly we saw during the World Series or something like that. Phenomenal outing for him. I really hope it's a sign of things to come for the next month because he is a very month-to-month pitcher. It has been throughout his career. But for this upcoming series, we had pointed out that it really is a battle of some aces. The Nationals naturally have a very good starting rotation. They'll be facing Patrick Korbin. They'll be facing Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg.
But they're also underperforming.
They are very much so underperforming. And one of those guys who's been really underperforming is Max Scherzer early on, who right now his ERA sits like above 3.5 or something like that.
3.78 for Scherzer. Strasburg is 3.71. I love Anibal Sanchez. I was surprised to learn he's still in the league.
He's not one of the aces. He's not one of the aces we're talking about.
I love how it you got a really good game. I called this a series of mixed aces because you got Korbin, which was their big offseason acquisition, going up against Hill tonight, and of course we love Richie Hill. 2 different sides of the spectrum there. You got Grandpa Hill and you got Over the Hill and and then Korbin. Also 371. Like they're just not getting done. They ended up getting done. They ended up firing their pitching coach.
They did.
Much to the chagrin of the team, which you always want to do. Always want to shock your team. You
want to piss off your team.
It's always best to shock your team. But I do love that second game because you got this guy, Kenta-san, going up against Anibal Sanchez. And it's honestly, we're going to get more into Kenta later on in the show. So make sure you stick around. But
I feel like of everybody, Anibal Sanchez has the best chance of shutting us down for 9 innings.
Yeah,
just because that's just the way it goes, guys.
He'll just be like, that's what he does as he walks in the locker room.
Was Sanchez the one that lost his perfect game on that terrible call at first base 10 years ago?
That was somebody who doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, they're not a person?
Yeah, I think he got
Anibal did have a no-hitter though, right? I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments below because we don't know Tigers, Marlins, whatever other teams he's been on history. Whatever you want to call it. Getting back to the starters that we're going to see, I really, really like the Walker Buehler Max Scherzer matchup. Max Scherzer, we're talking about his ERA. If he finished up where he's at right now, it would be his worst in his career since he was in Detroit back in 2011. And I'm not saying he's not the same pitcher he was,
but he's not the same.
Pitcher he was. At least it's not what he looks like early on. It doesn't seem like he's losing any serious velocity or anything like that, but the Nationals fired their pitching coach for a reason.
AJ helping out. Sorry, it was Armando Galarraga who that was the blown. That was the no hitter. That wasn't. Anyways, continue.
That was terrible. That hurt my soul, and I was like, I don't even care about the Tigers.
I do like that. Who was that? Was that Jim Wolf or I forget who the ump was, but he came out immediately and straight on it. Yeah, I think he's like effed up the call.
I don't even know how. It was like. There's the base, there's the runner, there's the pitcher with the ball, and it was like hit, base, step. And
Yeah.
it was just like safe.
It was like where was he at? He was like a mile and a half away
He's
from
like
that play.
cross-eyed.
Nefarious on YouTube saying, "What about Verdugo?" We got a lot on Verdugo coming up in a couple of minutes. Jim Joyce, thank you, Tim.
Yeah. That's like the
them.
same person.
Yeah, Randy Wolf.
It's like the same person.
Randy Wolf.
I watched the whole thing about Joe West today, like a whole long YouTube video.
Were you like held at gunpoint?
No, I'm just really interested in that umpires.
Was it his weak points?
I watch Angel Hernandez videos probably like twice a week. Like I'm just so interested in how that man has a job. Like, do you ever meet that one person at work that's just so incredibly bad at their job, and you think they have to be related to somebody because that's the only way they could have a job? That's how I feel about Angel Hernandez. He's so he's so tremendously terrible, which is so interesting. We got a lot of people calling for trading. Casting his trash. You kind of expected him to be in the stream a little bit. What's going on, Casting?
Thanks for hanging out.
He wants us to trade for Scherzer. He wants us to trade for Doolittle. He wants everybody. Sign Rendon.
There are. Let's go get all the best players from. I think they call that the All-Star game, and that happens in July.
It does. It does happen in July.
So. Let's see. We got Danny. We'll get a couple more questions and we'll dig into some more stuff that we have. But Danny on Facebook, interesting hearing Cody talk about hitting against Scherzer. Oh yeah, that's right. T doesn't have her mic on today because we forbid her from it now. We're having a kind of low key.
She cussed on air.
She's a very foul person. But yeah, you were talking about that lovely Big Swing Ross Stripling's podcast and Cody's choices. Did you happen to hear any of that, Mr. Brook?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't listen to podcasts. Who does that?
I don't.
Except for this one, Greatest Showman. So bad.
That's good. I like that.
But, yeah, Cody said that he wouldn't charge the mound on Scherzer because of respect, and he'd be too afraid to go after Aroldis Chapman.
Oh, yeah. That's good call.
He's also afraid of the oven, I believe. I think that was one of the things that happened.
But he's clearly not afraid of driving BMWs.
What's up with our boy Codes?
I like him, dude. He's going
Superstar.
Hollywood. He's going Hollywood, man.
Cody Superstar working for Beamer.
Come on, man. You start hitting some home runs. You start drawing some national attention. You gotta fully embrace it. When is he getting his gold chain?
I know, right?
Yeah, he's got. I think they all wear the black.
His 35 chain.
They all wear like that black chain, right? Like this. They all wear like a very similar chain. But he's got to get that big baller golden chain next. Go full Hollywood.
I thought Rick's supposed to be like Big Ball or something. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what all y'all kids.
What the childrens are saying.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. We got Chris in the stream. You heard it here from Clint. Greatest podcast ever. Thank you,
Appreciate
Chris.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Let's see. I would do that because I paid him to say that. I'm just kidding.
Not much.
Preview. No. I think I tried to get Evans to send him a shirt, but he just barely got his.
He did. Mr. Clint Evans over there in
at Diamond
somewhere
Hoggers.
in Ohio.
Finally got his shirt.
You look good in it. You look good. I'm
yes,
impressed.
He's a very pretty man. He's been working out.
Did you call him pretty?
Yes. So
here.
Tonight, Korbin, like I said, it's Korbin versus Rich Hill. And these are the things that kind of stood. I think there's really one thing that sort of stood out with me. Well, you got some more, if you can gently pull it up for me there.
That's like you want to shake the table or what?
Homeboy again, Mr. Rick K coming in hot with some knowledge bombs talking about this series. And then Korbin, of course, was a Diamondback. So we faced him a lot.
We have faced him a lot. And we have a couple guys in that article I posted we talked about kind of matchups just to watch. And one of those, I can also read, surprisingly. Justin Turner versus Patrick Korbin. That is going to be a great matchup, considering Justin Turner, first of all, is going in extremely hot.
JT's going dong show tonight.
As Rick Krajewski mentioned, 4 home runs in his last 10 at-bats, let alone the past 2 games. 4 home runs in his last 10 at-bats. He's red hot. He's killing the ball.
He's red, he's dreamy. He's the red dream.
Exactly. Yes. He's hitting 367 in the month of May. When he was hitting up until the series with Chicago ended in April, he was hitting 250. So a lot. That was when we were kind of talking about like
what's going on.
I think we had both
him.
mentioned like it's bad, but after May, if he's still bad, then we'll talk like this is serious.
Like Hershiser talking about, he's got to get that. They got to get him a specialized calendar that doesn't have May. It goes from or it doesn't have April in it. It goes from February, March, Smarch, May.
There you go.
Yeah,
just like break
works.
his wrist every spring training or something like that.
Too soon.
Whatever happens.
Too soon.
But he's also hitting.
You've set the masses.
Thank you. He's hitting a career .414 with 2 home runs and 29 at-bats against Korbin. That is a matchup to watch, and I think that's one that's going to be a difference maker early on. Patrick Korbin's still a very good pitcher. Still a very good pitcher. I think they overpaid for him.
Oh, yeah.
That's my personal opinion. Especially for a team that already had Scherzer and Strasburg. Whatever. I'm not here to judge the Nationals' terrible decisions, but that was a terrible decision to sign for that much money.
They gave Harper his option.
They did.
Or wait, you said Harper. You're talking about Harper money?
I'm talking about Korbin.
Oh, you're talking about Korbin. I thought you brought up Harper, like paying one or the other.
Well, yeah. I mean, that too.
Yeah, because they could have had money for one or the other, and then eventually, they signed Korbin pretty early. And
yeah, that was the thing is when they signed Korbin so early, it was like they just decommitted from Harper like big time.
I think they made that. They were standing pretty steadfast in that. Korbin, Hill. Korbin has faced the Dodgers a lot. I didn't hear. Did you get the Rick note in there? Like Korbin last year faced the Dodgers a lot. He owned them, picked up only one win because, pitcher wins don't mean anything. But 0.77. I know words. I know letters. 0.77 ERA in 23 innings last year. So he did very well. He owned Los Angeles. And you look at some of the batters he's faced in overtime. The Dodgers don't hit very well outside of JT, like you're talking about. Right. JT's hit 375 against him in his career, and that's a decent enough sample size, 24 ABs. The one that surprises me the most tonight, and I love the boy. I think Russell Martin's probably one of our favorite players, between the both of us on the team. But why Russell is starting against Korbin tonight when he's batted, 160 against 167 against them and 6 at bats. But Barnsley's hitting 300. He's 3 for 10 against them. That one didn't check all the boxes for me. That's where I'm at on that one. But
not a big fan of that. The Dodgers also, you mentioned Korbin just kind of dominating them. Last year, garbage against the left-handed pitching. The year before that, pretty garbage against the left-handed pitching. This year, a little better. I mean, they're hitting top 10 in all baseball against left-handed pitching in general. So it's there's a little bit of an uptick against it. I don't get the Russell Martin over Austin Barnes approach. I don't quite understand that one. I also get the sense we're going to get a d'Arnaud.
Travis d'Arnaud. Wow.
You have to make sure you say his last name right.
D'Arnaud.
Instead of d'Arnaud. I've been called d'Arnaud for years. We might get a Travis d'Arnaud appearance. The former, I almost called him Mr. Met, but you can't call him Mr. Met because that's an actual person.
Yes.
He's got a lot of experience.
Mr. Met has a middle finger, by the way.
He does, yeah. So make sure you check that out because that's important. D'Arnaud has a lot of experience against the Nationals playing over there in the East. He's seen Scherzer a lot, and that was one thing I had pointed out. He's seen Scherzer a lot. He hasn't had very much success against him, but hey, he's seen him. I think he has 2 home runs and like 30 at bats or something, and that's his only hits. But I mean, that's something, and you got to imagine they're going to see him pretty soon.
Yeah. I like. It's about time. He's had enough time to catch people and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he has enough time against him. Let him.
No, dude, he's our outfielder. What are you talking about?
God.
Our left fielder.
I like Filipino Bueller getting us right here, or getting me mainly. Guaranteed Russell goes yard now. I hope. I love.
Dude,
I
please.
love that he's still got the hop. Two things that I love about Russell Martin. We've only seen it once, but he's still got the pop out of the box, and the walk-up music's the same as it was the day he left.
I love that man.
Touch the sky, baby. Kanye, before Kanye was crazy. Well, he was crazy.
He just kept it, though.
City Cynic, hi from Los Angeles. Hi from South Pasadena. What's going on?
We got Wayne. I don't know how to say your last name, Wayne.
Wayne.
It starts with a T.
Ozzy Wayne.
Ozzy Wayne. He's back again, man. Checking in late from Australia.
Stream.
He said checking in late. Oh, he's checking in late to the podcast. Good morning, all. Okay. That's cool. He says, does the resurgence of Belly in the latitude...
I'm not drinking in the morning, I'm telling you. Sorry.
Well, he thinks you are. Does the resurgence of Belly in the latitude given to CT3 an indication that platooning doesn't work across the board? Well, I think we've kind of established platooning doesn't necessarily work for all teams.
No.
That's kind of the point of platooning. It's very specific to teams like the Dodgers who have talent, specified talent, I guess we'll call it. I think if you think about guys like Jock Peterson who are just not made to hit left-handed pitching. I do like that he's getting more chances against left-handed pitching this year.
Yeah, I think last year the Dodgers just had to go with it because there were so many people.
Yeah.
They had literally less than zero chance to not do it because they had to keep some people happy. But this season, and we're going to get into a lot more of the numbers from like the who's hot and who's not that's coming up in the next section here. But, you're looking at Max Muncy. He's making such a name for himself that he needs to be playing against lefties. But again, more on that coming up in a minute. We do want to kind of finish up the preview section of this little bit here. But I kind of do like tomorrow's game, Sanchez versus Maeda, because it's really it's a matchup of two people fighting for that last spot in their respective rotations. We do got Kenta here to give him some support.
There are two number 5 guys for sure.
Abso-fruitly, as the kids say.
Yeah, exactly.
And then marquee matchups on the weekend. Scherzer versus Buehler, Strasburg versus ace of the staff, Ryu. It's going to be fun. It's absolutely going to be incredibly fun
I had
series.
mentioned I didn't think that despite the Nationals' struggles early on, because they've been kind of crappy. I think they've lost like 8 of their last 13 or 9 of them. So they've lost a lot of games as of late.
Yes. They're not good.
Despite that, I think this is going to be one of the best series of the year, just based solely off of the pitching matchup, of course.
One of their biggest problems was that Rendon was hurt.
Yeah.
Or not. Yeah, he was hurt. He was on the IL, and then he came back and then got kicked out of a game.
Right.
But the funny thing is, I mean, a lot of these players haven't faced all that many Dodgers.
No, they have not. But also a lot of these Dodgers players haven't done particularly well against these Nationals pitchers. Like Cody Bellinger hasn't really hit any of these guys.
No.
Which is interesting.
Most important thing that we can take away from this series is that Brian Dozier is coming back to Dodger Stadium.
I miss Brian, man.
Oh,
Wouldn't it have been awesome if Brian Dozier was good? I know we don't have to talk about that because it makes me sad, but wouldn't it have been awesome? We probably would have won a World Series or something. We don't have to talk about it, though. Let's get
that was the leadoff hitter in the World Series, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
let's get into the who's hot and who's not of the Dodgers right now, because
we should tell people to go buy some of those sweet. Well, not that shirt, but this. Not the. Oh, you can buy this shirt.
I think you get upset that I wear the shirt that you can't buy, but I, on the other hand, think it's great because it makes people come back. Well, that too.
Feel more
it makes
special.
me feel, yeah, I'm cool. But also, it makes me think that people will keep coming back, waiting to see when this goes on sale. So, a reminder to you guys: make sure you go to DodgersNation.com/store and use our special. This is our special.
We put this together.
We did this
for you.
This is our live stream promo code at BHLive20 for, you guessed it, 20% off. That is BHLive at DodgersNation.com/store. You can get awesome shirts like that one.
And like those ones are
there's
down
some
right
ones around the place. I mean, you guys have seen them. We wear them all the time.
You know where they could find them? DodgersNation.com. Or you can see them out at the bottom. They're kind of doing their.
They're on the bottom.
Thing.
They're kind of just floating around.
Yeah,
there's some cool shirts. Get one. And then wear it and see us at the stadium. Are you gonna go to any games this weekend? By the way,
I don't have time to go to games.
Too good for me.
Yes, I'm down. Where are we going? When are we going?
I'm going tomorrow, and then I'm going Saturday. So back to back.
It feels like that's very much of a TFTI situation for me.
Yeah, that's just like a bring the wife to the stadium type of thing.
I'm not the wife, but thank you for asking.
No, but I appreciate it. All right, so who's your hot? If you had to say who is your hottest player?
JT, man. JT is the hottest person in the world right now, and plus he's hitting a lot of dingers.
I do like dingers.
I love that you called it. I called it. You're the one who ended up following up on it. Don't let the beard get hot. I think that's the most important takeaway to lead into May. Don't let the beard get hot.
I like how we turned that into a post, by the way. That was really
hell
cool.
Yeah. I went hard. I went professional on it.
I was like, did I start that? That's cool. I like that.
I should have tagged you in it better.
Yeah, that's all right.
But
I like it.
299 on the season, 385 on base, 448 on the slugging. The OPS is looking right. 5 dingers, 19 ribbies. He looks like JT now. Actually, he looks still slightly under JT because, again, the April wasn't that fantastic. But
yep,
391 with all 5 home runs over his last 11 games. And it's not BABIP weighted or fueled. He's a respectable 371, so you can get that. But I do gotta say, and we're gonna throw up the lovely video of him hitting all them dingers. I called it on the lineup fun. The day he hit 3 home runs on our DodgersNation.com, as you guys know, well, not even there, on Twitter /DodgersNation. We put out our own version, our own little fun version of the lineup every game. And, it's kind of indicative of what's going on. Somebody called it like a fun cryptic puzzle or something like that. I forgot what it was.
It is funny to look at it, and if you don't entirely know what's going on, be like, all right, context clues. Who's playing? Who is starting today?
Who are this?
We make you use your mind when trying to figure out who's starting for the day.
No, I don't believe any of that. But yeah, I think I said the power is coming. That's what I called him. Power is coming. And then he decided to go out and doink three bombs. So I called the power surge. Have you ever done that? You ever called I don't think you ever.
I've called home. I have this tendency to call home runs during at bats only when I'm at games, but I've never called like beforehand like that.
You mean
like I've done it with Trace Thompson, specifically.
Okay. I thought you were talking about
multiple times,
like softball, like you.
No, not like that. I mean, like remember when we were at the Astros series and I was like, oh, Jock's gonna hit a home run here, and then Jock hit a home run. Yeah, it's just like weird stuff like that.
I got you,
feel
fam.
it. Like I was at a game where I was like, oh, it's a 3-2 count right now, and I was with somebody, and I was like, yeah, I have this weird tendency to predict things that happen. She's like, oh, like what's gonna happen next? And I was like, oh, this next pitch, Trace Thompson's gonna go deep to center, and then he went deep to center, and I was like, oh my god,
still
talented,
and still no. Still no lottery.
Still no job offers. That's the issue right here, guys. I mean, come on now. Let's talk about that for a second. Another really, really. I don't want to use the word hot because people actually do think he's hot, like in like his physical appearance.
Yeah,
like
he's
very
one of those
popular
people
amongst the ladies
on Twitter. I don't get y'all because like if he's hot, he can do no wrong, which tends to get some boys in some trouble. Just saying.
Oh,
look
yeah,
how pretty
true.
I am, but.
Since you're gorgeous, you understand.
He's not absolved of anything, any potential wrongdoing, just because he's attractive to you, ladies and fellas. Just saying.
Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, but CT3, he's come up, he's come along, he's done well.
Just to give you a point of reference, he was hitting .097. That's not a typo of my voice. I don't even know what you call that, but a .097 on April 11th.
And since then, he's come up a good bit now. 25 games since, 277 average, 314 on base, which still is not great, but he's sacrificing some walks to reduce the strikeouts. It feels like.
Yeah, and I mean, it really he talks about it. He talked about it a little bit how he felt like when he was going to the plate, it already felt like there was a hole in his bat. Like that's how bad it got.
Yeah. It's a very holy bat, not in the right way. It felt like that.
Like if it got to a 2-strike count, you were basically like, yeah, he's striking out right now. Like this is happening, and I'm already moving on to the next batter in my mind. Like, all right, who's up after him? Like what's going on here?
So when the day that they announced that Pollock was going on the DL is when I was like, oh, does that mean CT3 is going to get a start in center? And right when they did, it's like, oh, he's going ham. Since he started it was one game. It was that one game he started in the center, but that boy loves playing in center field because all of his best work, 2017, was done in center field. Yep. Since he started on center field on May 3rd, # small sample size, 429 batting average, 478 on base, 810 on the slugging.
That's a pretty decent sample size, though.
It's
pretty
enough.
Decent. I mean, May 3rd was like,
he hasn't played
like
all
some days
that
ago.
Much. That's not
some
that
days.
much.
But yeah, I mean, apparently he really likes the outfield, and I think I personally, I haven't really mentioned this to anybody very much. I think Pollock's going to be out a lot longer than they have let on. They're giving him a July deadline. I think it's actually going to be longer than that, and I think it should be longer than that because we talked about it already too. We already felt like they were playing him way too much for his past. So I think it's going to be good for CT to get out there. Verdugo, I'm seeing a lot of that in the stream. You guys talking about the man Verdugo. The man is also on fire.
The kid.
Don't let that kid get hot
don't
either.
Let the kid
Another
get hot.
guy who is pretty locked in, Max Muncy, who I particularly was very worried about him from spring training.
Yeah, I do
that
remember
was the
those
start
conversations.
of the start of my worries for him, and it carried over far into the season. But he's turned it on lately, and he's looked like a ball player.
Yeah.
He's hitting 274, 370, 521 slash line with a 138 WRC plus. He is hitting 375 in May, though, and that's kind of been the difference maker for me, is that it really feels like he's locked in now. He's got a ridiculous OPS for the month, and Rick had mentioned it, too. Over his last 5 games, he's 8 for 17, 4 walks, 3 home runs, and 10 RBIs.
That's a little out there. It's a little out there, I'd say. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's doing this. That's doing your job well.
You're supposed to hit the ball and get on base or whatever. So, in my mind, he's always been a guy that I felt could hit left-handed pitching, and he had proved that time and time again last year, despite the fact that they kept starting right-handed hitters over him, and it was super frustrating for us to watch that happen since he was such a productive hitter and such a guy who had such productive at-bats almost every single game. So has he finally done enough against left-handed pitching to prove it to the front office, especially with some of the injuries that have gone on, that he can hit left-handed pitching? He's 325 on the year against left-handed pitching. Is that good enough?
I think that has to be good enough. When you're hitting that well against left-handed pitching, 386 on base, 725 slugging, like the kid's getting it done, and he needs to be playing. He's not looked bad on defense, so that's not a good enough excuse. He's not looked great.
Right.
He's never going to look great on defense.
He's never going to win a gold glove. Let's just give it that.
So I dug into some numbers, and I don't really understand these numbers, so I'll use them, but you can explain them better to me if they make enough sense to you. I'm not a Fangraphs kid. I never will be. I hate that they try to make you pay for it, and if you get in and out of that page a few times, they're like, hey, are you a subscriber? Hey, but Fangraphs has got some good stuff.
I think we do that too.
No, subscribe to the newsletter. By the way, DodgerNation.com/subscribe, and you get even more off of our shirts in that newsletter, sometimes, potentially, all the time.
Sometimes.
Ultimate zone rating, UZR/150, which, that's a thing. 14.1, so he's positive at first base. He's positive at third base with 15.3, which word tells me that if you're positive, that probably means good. Surprisingly for me, negative at second base, 29.2, and that's a spot where people have always small sample size, but defensive metrics have liked him at second base. He's put up defensive runs saved, the fielding percentage, even though that doesn't mean anything. He's looked very good at second, but this year it doesn't like him. Of course, that's where he's playing the most.
Right.
But to me, and I don't know if you kind of feel the same way on it, but to me, Max is kind of passing the eye test. It's a C grade, but you know what they say, C's get degrees.
I'll take it at this point for him. He's got that home run power, which, I mean, let's face it, that's what the Dodgers have relied on for the past couple of years, coming up with big home runs like that. And they're still doing it this year. They're doing it a little differently this year because they're hitting a freaking ton of them. But, I like the guy. I think he should be in the lineup. He's a guy who can hit left-handed pitching just as well as he can hit right-handed pitching. His splits were relatively even last year in that regard, despite the fact that he wasn't getting those.
Yeah, they kind of slipped in the second half.
Right.
And then, that little bit they were able to hold on to and be like, hey, you're not going to start every game because we have Dozier for some reason, and then Dozier didn't quite
Dozier
work
and
out.
his one knee. I hope to see more of him, especially with Pollock down. That's going to shuffle the lineup a lot. That's going to give guys a lot more chance to play. I don't think Travis d'Arnaud is going to be a permanent fixture in the lineup anytime soon, and so I don't think that's going to affect anything.
In a little bit, we'll dig in a little bit more into why, because we've seen that a lot, like why Travis d'Arnaud on this team. But the biggest thing, and we've already seen this a lot, Alex Verdugo, man. Kid is kind of insane. Great player, bad hair, as Tamara said earlier.
You guys don't like his hair?
I did not think I'd like it in the cornrows more, but I do. Like this weird.
I love it.
I love you. Love you, Alex. You're great. I've always been very high on you. But, boy, that hair, though.
Dude, my favorite thing is ball players with just, like, crazy hair.
It's not even crazy hair.
I mean,
it's just like
it's just funny.
It was some nasty hair, like he just took it out of a hairnet after working the shift at Costco.
Did you not like the Manny Machado hair?
No.
Like all of his hairstyles?
No.
Oh, dude, I freaking love that.
I was a Manny Ramirez hair kind of guy because he did the hair whipping around.
Look like a damn pirate.
Yes.
You actually look like a pirate with dreadlocks out there. Verdugo slashing a pretty ridiculous. Well, he's hitting 344. First of all, let's just talk about that for a second. For a kid that He mentioned what did he say about the minor leagues? He's like, what do I have to do? Hit 400 in the minor leagues?
Yeah. It's like may have to hit 450 to crack the starting lineup. He's trying his damnedest.
Yeah, he's getting close to it, man. 344 with a 156 WRC plus is pretty damn impressive.
Facebook Todd is over here saying, is Travis with the team? Yes, I know. Surprisingly, again, we'll talk more on him a little bit.
He's actually been there since like Monday, I think.
Also, we got to point it out. Friend of the show from last week, Matt Beatty, apparently we're bad luck because he got immediately sent down for Darno.
That's our bad, Matt.
But as Chris L. Coriza 1 over here says, Beatty was doing amazing, and he was getting it done. He still has the highest batting average on the team.
I liked his at bats. I did like his approach. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to be back within a few weeks.
Oh yeah.
I think Darno is not going to. Personally, I don't think Darno is going to hang around very long.
But yeah, he's
what do I know, right?
He's a space filler, and it makes sense because
Me too, man.
Dave is that guy, and this is sort of stealing from some of my future thunder on the Darno subject. But Dave's that guy that needs that third catcher. He needs that guy. He just manages better because then he could use those big air quote big other bats, or he can move people around. He could pinch hit. He just feels more comfortable with the third catcher, and I'm fine. I just wish that third catcher was Will Smith because Smith, Russell, and Barnes can all play everywhere.
All over the place.
Yeah. So it just,
Barnes is a second baseman, guys. Don't forget that. Mm-hmm. A pretty damn good one, too. Pretty damn decent one. I don't know when the last time he played second base is. When is the last time that guy played second base? Been a minute?
Yes.
Yeah, but on that same subject of Mr. Bad Hair himself, his 8th multi-hit game of the season last night, and he's just...
he's barely starting.
Yeah, he hasn't even really gotten into a lot of games yet. I think I mentioned at one point during Chris Taylor's lowest valley, as it were. Oh,
you mean that 097?
Yeah, that he actually had more at-bats than Alex Verdugo, who was crushing the ball. And that's when I was pissed, because like, this just doesn't make sense. Like, he hits left-handed pitching, he hits right-handed pitching, he's hitting everybody well. Why is he still not getting at-bats over a guy who is using a tennis racket to play baseball?
Doogie's he's still like 40 plate appearances behind most of the rookie leaders. Right. However, he's first in average with that 344 average minimum, 98 at bats. I found the highest one.
Proud of you.
OPS, he's right up there, 956. He's first in OPS, minimum 90 at bats. Fifth in hits with 32. The leader's at 38, and again, 40 plate appearances behind.
That's a freaking close race in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. He leads in triples with 2, actually tied for first. 8th in home runs. Leader has 11. That's Pete Alonso. We know that Doogie's never going to be a home run hitter. His swing is long, but man, is it quick somehow. It's crazy.
Long and quick.
Yes. He's 3rd in RBI with 19. The leader is at 31 with the Mets, Mr. Alonso. But the kid is hot. Don't let the kid is hot. Straight.
Oh, heck yeah, he is, man. That's going to be a really good Rookie of the Year candidate. I think the race is pretty much going to come down to
him and Alonso.
Alonso and him. And if Tatis Jr. can get back in on the action, he'll probably be included in that
too.
Like
Paddock with San Diego has also been huge. Well. Yeah. But he's not going to be able to get enough... He's not going to be able to get enough starts. Like, they already want to shut him down.
They're going to shut him down.
Yeah, I think he only pitched like 70 innings last year, so he's not going to be in the conversation for much longer.
We got Frank Talk LA in the comments section. He
Is it
says,
crooked?
Brooke with the canvas-worthy haircut. I appreciate you noticing the haircut, Frank. I think that means my haircut's crooked.
It's a little crooked.
It's all right. It's fine.
It's the headphones. You just got to do the...
Yeah, just got to get the hair flip.
We're just proud of you. Earlier when we're setting up the lights and all that, tomorrow I was proud of you that you haven't been wearing the hat as much because we had to light differently to get under your hat.
You guys get mad at me for wearing a hat on a baseball broadcast.
No, I'm not saying that. I said she did because you're
That's why we took her mic away. That's why she doesn't get to talk anymore. We got and speaking of the not being able to talk, we got to go on to the who's not hot now. You like that transition? That's a good segue.
Wait, I just want to bring up one last note, and this is probably my biggest note about Verdugo. He's batting .344.
That was a hair note. It's not a hair note.
It's not a hair note. Okay. He hits. He gets on base. He should be our leadoff hitter, right? Alex Verdugo for leadoff hitter 2019.
Well, here's the deal. We don't have a leadoff hitter.
Exactly. So, Kike is not getting it done. He was 0 for 25.
I don't understand the thought process of putting
Jock
Kike
Peterson hasn't hit in a week because we haven't faced a right-handed batter or a pitcher in a week.
He's just stayed at home.
Alex Verdugo. Or whatever. I guess I could play Volvo. That's still so
You got to do like the scream. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you know the words.
Yeah.
So
That's how it
the
goes.
So the not. Oh wait, in between, I'm gonna stop you there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's take some stuff from the stream here. I
stream?
saw it was a little while ago on Facebook. Michelle Carter really want our opinion, and we are the opinion boys, as they call us, as I just called us. But
The opinion boys.
I watch you guys and the whole Dodgers, and the whole thing. Dodgers are good, but they fail against losing teams. I don't believe in the whole Dave Roberts fails us. They are not Dodgers fans, or those are not Dodgers fans. Taylor, Muncy, Turner needed time. There's a lot going on there.
Said we lose against losing teams?
No, we fail against the winning teams.
Yeah,
so
we
far.
fail against the winning teams. Big
Dodgers
time.
have
like the Cubs
feasted on the NL
They got
West.
smashed on the by the Brewers. I think only the Giants have really had success against us, and that's just because the Giants. The Giants. I mean, they're 3-3. I think against the Giants this year.
Yeah,
so
but
the Giants just show up to play whenever the Dodgers they're playing the Dodgers. It's just how they are. You're always going to want to show up and put your best foot forward for your most hated rival. That just happens.
I just realized we had some defense on Verdugo's hair. Todd says, "Don't trip on his hair, fool, baller."
I agree with that.
That is fire. I need a fire.
You can't
button.
even come back from that.
Here's the fire. There you go.
A lot of people were upset about your hair comments.
That wasn't mine. That was Tamara. She was going to say it. She was going to be a bad person.
She has a mic,
today.
so she can't even, or she doesn't have a mic.
I told
so
you we
can't
should have
defend
just
herself.
plugged in your mic. She didn't want her mic today because we didn't set up her camera.
No, she knew that you were going to tell people about how much she hated his hair.
Strange Lot of Number says, no, hair is horrible. Thank you.
Hair is horrible.
Backing me up on that one.
Taylor Spencer actually mentioned, do you think Verdugo should be batting in the leadoff spot? Good call on that, Taylor, before we even got to it. We already talked about it.
Stealing my thunder. I don't know what about soccer players, but anyways, apparently we got a hater. I don't know. I think people were further behind than we were here. Somebody talk about Baez being a third baseman. Yes, he was. Anyways, enough about all of you people. Let's get back to
third baseman.
Cody. So the hot.
Now they know who's
onto
not.
the knot.
Now they know who's not.
Now it's onto the knot, guys.
You can handle that one. I'm not touching the Cody Bellinger one.
Hey, you know what? Last week we were all about the Cody.
I'm still all about the Cody.
And rightfully so, but Cody's taken a bit of a step back. And as I said, Cody's taken a dive since taking that dive. So the real question, I know, thank you. I'll give me a point right there. The real question I have from you, or for you.
From me, to me.
For you, to you. Cold streak, or is that shoulder affecting him?
Yeah. Okay. So you've played with a wonky shoulder before, have you not?
I exist with a wonky shoulder.
Exactly. There's a world of difference when your shoulder's sore versus not sore, and that translates very much to hitting. And I think a couple people had
shoulder too for him.
Exactly. A couple people had noticed that he was holding the bat a little bit different of an angle. It's coming down a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it's probably pretty sore. I think he needs a little bit of rest time. I'm all right with him taking an IL trip if he has to. And hopefully not a long one, but I'm all right with taking it. We have the depth to do so, and I think now would be the time to do it.
He's since injuring or since taking that dive on that shoulder, he's 3 for 14, which is a 214 batting average. Yep. No home runs. I don't know. It felt to me like he's kind of hacking downwards on it. The launch angle he's still hitting the ball hard, but the launch angle is a bit off to me.
I agree. Yeah, and I think if he has a bad series against the Nationals, I think he's going to hit the IL by Monday.
You heard it here first,
if
folks.
he has a bad series against the Nationals. Let's just say that.
So I got to take that one. And you guys let us know. We'll get into everything you guys have to say about the knot on Cody after this one. You let me take Cody. I'm letting you take Kenley.
I'll take you, Mr. Kenley Jansen. Kenley, he's well, let me just preface it by saying throwing your closer in 3 straight games is probably not wise. Mm-hmm. Let me just say that. To go along with that, you got to get your job done. If you're put into a situation where you are the closer, you are the guy responsible for that last inning, you got to make sure you're getting those outs. And Kenley hasn't been getting those outs all year long. There's been some times where, he's gotten pretty streaky and looked good at times, but even you had mentioned that even when he is looking good, he's not hitting his spots and you don't trust him. And I would agree with you on that. There has been a couple times throughout the year where he went 1, 2, 3 in the inning, but it was very spotty, and I don't want to say lucky, but kind of felt lucky that they didn't get that blown save on him. And so He hasn't felt good to me all year long. I know he hasn't felt good to you pretty much all year since 2017. I think.
Like, I don't know. I haven't personally felt him. You're the one who interviewed him earlier this year.
I didn't grab him.
I don't feel good when he comes in.
Exactly. I haven't really felt good about him coming into games since the last pitch of the World Series. I think
I just realized I left that one pretty wide open.
Yeah. I got you.
Sorry, guys.
Someone's going to get a sound clip on that one.
I'm going to title that one. Anyway, continue. My bad.
He did also, he sat down with some reporters, and I mentioned this earlier to you. It kind of feels like with each bad appearance, he just gets a little bit more fed up with the media every single time, and he gets a little snappier every single time too. This most recent one was
that was the worst. That was by far the worst.
It was pretty bad, and it was awkward, and I've never felt uncomfortable for a reporter. Like, have you
felt uncomfortable for reading a story?
Reading the reporter's story that was in the room with the guy that you weren't in the room with. And I felt like, oh man, like this is just so awkward. Like, we get into the Craig Kimbrell talk, which is that you can go read about that and read the whole interview basically on DodgersNation.com. But basically, the whole conversation went to Craig Kimbrell because obviously Kenley's not doing his job. He's not getting the job done. It seems like he said, he can come on the team. He can do whatever he wants. I don't care what they do, but it gets really uncomfortable when they start saying like, well, if he did, who's going to close the games? And it's like, oh, I'm the closer, so I'm going to close the games. Like, that's my job. That's what I do.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable. It was a bit embarrassing. Michelle says, yeah, awkward. And
Super
we saw those the same thing earlier last year in April of last year when he just was not right. He wasn't Kenley, and it was obvious. He didn't have really a spring training, and it affected him majorly. Now we're at a point where Kenley, that's just my take. Kenley is a dude that can't manage his stretches of failure well. Everyone goes through them, and everyone will have tough questions for you. And if he opens it by saying, I want to win, I'll do whatever it takes to win. If winning a World Series for your team means pitching in the eighth inning, would you not do that? Is you getting more saves more important than an entire city, an entire fan base not getting their first World Series in 31 years?
So
Kenley.
Let me ask you this.
I'm going to answer that for him.
You have been very quick to point out to people, because a lot of people forget it, that he does have an opt-out coming up.
Yes.
He absolutely does. And I think a lot of people forget that, especially people in sports for some reason forget that I feel like people just think he's locked up. He is not locked up, guys. He can walk away soon, very soon. With that, does he have to have a bad season to walk, or does he have to have a really good season from here on out to walk? Like, what do you think is the influencing factor there? Because he does just seem pissed off, man.
Yeah, he's kind of sort of had it, like it was JT who sort of coaxed him back this way, of which we're thankful, because again, Kenley is the best. This isn't a crap on Kenley show, because Kenley's the best to ever do it in a Dodgers uniform. However, Kenley, you're not the same right now, and you need to accept that. And you need to accept when people are telling you, hey, you're not the same right now. We've seen the numbers. We put out some posts recently on DN that, the velocity just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping. I highly suggest you guys read Clint Evans' story, Diamond Hogger's story. It's a good one on him. It's looking at the numbers, and it's not just calling to him, saying you're bad, this is terrible. It's not a fan reaction. It's not a hot take. It's numbers. And, you want that guy. I think it's Chris who said it. If your closer says, I'll let that thought marinate first, because it's still being typed. But yeah, it's just I would like to see someone be like, I'm open to do. Everybody else on the team, everybody else in this Dodgers team is always, I'll do whatever it takes for this team to win. I'll do whatever they need. They don't want to say it, but it is what it is. And Chris points out that Gagne took steroids. It was okay at the time.
We don't need a reminder about that, all right? Welcome to the jungle. SD Dodgers quick to point out for us, I should say, that he's not going to leave 2 years, $38 million in guaranteed money on the table.
They signed Kimbrell for like 3 years right now, though, or after June 2nd. I don't think he stays. It could be something
like a pride thing.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. You can see how much this dude's being prideful
because
he
could get a longer contract.
I understand and respect him being like, this is my spot, but also, dude, you got an ERA over 4.5, and he's talking about he's given up 2 home runs per 9 innings. Like, your closer can't be doing that with one inning. Like, honestly, I'd feel more comfortable right now with who's a Jamie Schultz closing games.
Josh Spores.
Give me the Spores. I'm just saying.
Give me all of them.
It frightens me, and we're getting closer to game time, so we'll start to speed it up a little bit. But Kenley, we love you.
There's a game on tonight.
There's a sports match. Again, this is a pregame, but also a little bit of Blue Heaven Live.
Is there a bar around here I can go watch the game at?
Apparently, there's a bar like right in the corner, but all the.
If you're in South Pasadena,
yes,
and you want to buy me a beer. Come find me.
I brought you a beer.
I know that's only one.
Oh, yeah, we're officially out of beer. No, there's that one that Mrs. Me3 brought. But that's mine.
It's like a floating beer.
Floating beer?
As in, like, it stays there until necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
floater.
The final one on the knot, Corey Seger. And I don't want to talk about Corey this way. I hate it. I don't want to, but we have to. How long can we really kind of keep this?
Charade up. The man is struggling, man. The man is he looks uncomfortable at the plate. He looks like he's not. I mean, Mr. Clint Evans had said it probably 2 months ago that he felt like he wasn't himself, and we had also mentioned that we felt like. Producers throwing in some heat. It is Corey Seger bobblehead night. So we are sorry about this, Corey. Tomorrow we are also very sorry about this. She's very hurt over there. But I'm hurt over Verdugo's hair. So, I mean, who's the real victim here?
This is true. You let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
But Corey's hitting .227 in May. 143 over his last 12 games. However, before then, he'd been batting .328 over his previous 19 games that a lot of people wanted to skip over because, again, it's about what have you done for me at the beginning of the season sometimes in baseball.
Right.
Seger. Is he tired or is he just overplayed after 2 major operations? The same thing like with Pollock.
I'm still shocked that they've played him as much as they have. 2 major surgeries. And people can justify it all they want where they're like, Shohei Ohtani had the October Tommy John or whatever it is, and now he's getting into games already.
Yeah, that one
pretty
is
quick.
Really
that's a pretty freaking ridiculous turnaround. And for a team that's not going to compete this year, that's a stupid decision.
I understand that, like he's a right-handed thrower, he's a left-handed batter, but there's still some strain on that.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
there's still some strain on that, man.
It's still your body.
On that reach out.
One part of your body's off, the whole part of your body's off.
And that's where we enter.
Exactly. So we're now. I mean, we're over a year past his operation now, or at least the elbow, not the hip.
Yeah.
But for him to just be in every, I mean, how many games has he sat? Like 3?
I think at most, and he might have even still pinch hitting.
Yeah, I mean, he's all these games.
Way too many games. He needs some more time, and with Seger, with Taylor having played well, CT plays at his best when he's in center, and when he's at shortstop, he loves playing up the middle. Give him that opportunity.
I mean, why not? I mean, you got a guy who's clearly struggling, and I mean. Last year, it was really obvious to me that there was something wrong with his elbow. Like, I recognized that pretty damn quick when he's making those throws over to first. It just looked god-awful.
Yeah.
But you see it already. You see that there's something wrong with him.
He looks tired.
I hope it's just being tired. I really do, because you can fix that pretty easily. And looking at his game log, it looks like he's only not played in 1 game.
Nice.
And that was 2 days ago. That's the only game that he hasn't played in.
I was talking about this last night because I was kind of pissed and watching Corey try to play, and then he ended up kind of lucking his way into that air quote single that was just that tapper bunt in front of the plate for a ribby. So hey, that's a knock in the box score tomorrow. But what I was telling the people I was around, I was like, Corey to me just looks like a dude trying to guide the ball. He's trying to find gaps instead of just hit the baseball.
Yeah, and I think that's why we've seen him go the other way. It seems like a lot more than he has in the past. But in the past, when he was going the other way,
2016,
he was going the other way for power. Like he was driving the ball either out of the park or into the gaps.
He's
with
not
wall
attacking
bangers.
the ball. And a lot of people have pointed out, I see it a lot on Twitter. It looks like people say it looks like he's moving his head a lot.
He's got that bobblehead look about him tomorrow.
All right, that's what we got on that. Let's get into some quickies on the May surprises. So we've seen the question a little bit, and we kind of had it set up beforehand. Point counterpoint on Dodgers signing Travis d'Arnaud. Why? What's the thinking and why it makes some sense? You want to lead that off, or you want me to lead it off?
I'll lead it off. I still don't quite understand the thinking of it. Dave Roberts tried to justify it a little bit by saying you get another right-handed bat in there. You know, you can kind of spell these guys at different positions. The problem with that, though, the problem with that, though, is they're saying that he's going to get some outfield reps and some infield reps. And that would be great if he was an outfielder and an infielder. But he is almost strictly a catcher. He hasn't really seen many major league innings in the infield at all. And he hasn't seen any professional innings in the outfield. And so it's like, I don't understand that thought process. I guess Dave Roberts thinks anybody can play outfield now since Chris Taylor learned to play outfield. But, you know,
in like a day,
it gives you a right-handed bat. It gives you an experienced right-handed bat. Did we need an experienced right-handed bat? I mean, we had David Freese coming off the bench.
Yeah, but he can't play left field.
Yeah, he can.
Oh. You heard it here first.
He can't run, but he can play left field.
Well, hey, I can play left field.
Played left field, yeah.
I've been in the position of left field.
He was out there. He was there.
Got the job done. Signed that paycheck. For me, like I already mentioned it earlier, for me with d'Arnaud, it makes the most sense in that Dave Roberts needs that third catcher to feel comfortable managing a baseball team because he likes being able to do these switches. We know he's kind of a notorious over manager on some occasions. Other occasions he's not, you know, and that's not us saying he's terrible about everything, because you and I have said a number of times, people, that there's nobody better to manage this team of people. There was nobody better to manage the team of people last year. Nobody could have survived that. Absolutely nobody. But he's not the best in-game tactician by far. And, you know, it just he likes having that extra guy. And also it boils down to the Dodgers didn't have another right-handed batter on the 40-man roster. Or at that point on the 39-man roster.
Yeah, and I get it. It makes sense. And that kind of leads into the next topic that we wanted to hop into, where, you know, you have Matt Kemp, who is a free agent, by the way. He was
Kevin Stern
released.
saying Kemp is done in L.A. Matt Kemp is a free agent.
I don't think that I don't think that they will sign him, first of all, and I don't think that they should. So if it comes down, they are. If it comes down to a conversation of Matt Kemp versus Travis d'Arnaud, as bad as it sounds, I would rather have d'Arnaud on the team, just strictly for his flexibility in getting Martin out from behind the plate as often as he's had to be, because that's clearly been a stress on Martin early in the season. I don't want to lose him. Because I had mentioned that I thought he might not make it through an entire year just based off of his age and the reps that he's going to have to take.
Technically, he didn't make it through an entire year.
He didn't. Austin Barnes has been a pleasant surprise early on, but we've also seen him in times where he's had to take on the bulk of the time behind the plate, really struggle offensively. So you want to make sure that he's getting as much rest as he can between those starts behind the plate. And unless Matt Kemp learns how to catch, I think I'm going to be all right with Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate as it is. Or fill in that 25th spot.
Kemp is a free agent. He's an injured free agent, but he's still a free agent. Do we want Kemp back? We always want Kemp back in our hearts. Does he make sense on this team? No, unless we had a 26th spot that was exclusively to hit, and that was it. We do not have a DH.
We do have a spot for him, though, on the Blue Heaven podcast. Right,
right here.
I
see what you did.
It's right here.
Matt, would you like to be here? We'll bring cupcakes. We will bring cupcakes.
That can be our thumbnail.
I know, right? We probably should have gone to Puig's thing coming up on Monday, but
it's this Monday.
I think it is the Magic Castle or something.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Magic Castle?
It's not at Magic Castle, but I have been to Magic Castle. I wore a suit once. It was awful.
Was it with shorts?
I wish.
Suit shorts.
I wish. And that was when I was air quote skinny.
Suit shorts are popular now.
I love Sue.
LeBron made them
great.
popular.
She's the best.
Not Sue Joe. Sue shorts. Oh no, wait.
What? You're still not saying
short suit shorts. Sue shorts.
How long of a leash can Kenta Maeda get in the rotation? The numbers are rough. You know, what is it again? 4.66 ERA, 3-2 because the Dodgers get wins.
I think it's gonna be a lot of back and forth.
Your hair got worse.
I know, that's okay. I think it's gonna be a lot of back and forth between. I mean, people have already been like Julio the closer, Julio the ninth inning man. That's not going to be the case. I don't think.
God, that was so good.
For the time that he's in the bullpen, he might spell moist. Kenley in the.
Thank you.
For the time that he's in the bullpen, I think he's going to spell Kenley in the ninth inning occasionally, but I don't think he's going to be in the bullpen by the end of the year. I think Kenta will be in the bullpen by the end of the year. to be fair.
Yes.
And I think Julio will come back into the starting rotation at the end of the season. And I think he will actually be a pretty big part of the starting rotation in the playoffs. I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves here, but
in November, I had penned the piece for DN that the Dodgers now need to adjust they need to do contract negotiations, make it so he can make a little bit more as a reliever. Even so, his base is still $3 million, which is great for a reliever.
Yeah.
When you have Boss Ross Stripling down in the pen when he was he was the best starting pitcher to start the season. In his 6 starts, he had like a 2.61 ERA. He was doing very good, and he was only getting better. His last start was his best start. Ross over Maeda, for me, hands down. It makes the most sense, and we've seen how much Maeda stuff can play up out of the pen.
I think we're going to see those two switch off a lot throughout the course of the year.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
I think it's going to happen.
I mean, that's fine. They also do better probably pitching around like 130 to 140 at most. Last 2 points here. We got that. We got a tweet of the week coming up. How many clean outings before we feel comfortable with Joe Kelly? He looked good last night, kind of semi-dominating. Was that 9th inning a turning point?
I mean, I hope it was. I mean, everybody can have a good game, obviously. At the same rate that everybody can have a bad game. I don't know if that in itself was necessarily a turning point. I sure hope it is. How many outings does it take for me to trust him? I think I always in my mind, I always kind of trust him just based off of his past performances. I think he's just gone through a bit of a rough patch to start the year, and that's understandable and fine, especially with a new team. So I've never really not trusted him. I think he is a great pitcher.
I asked you if you trust him. We were at that first hot dog game, and we were both like, uh-oh. This is about to go back.
He is He is like this. He is a roller coaster type pitcher, and you just got to know what you're getting out of the guy, and hope and pray that he is the October pitcher that he was last year.
I don't think he's
because
that guy.
that's what they bought him.
That guy.
He's not, but they hope he's going to be
that guy.
That
guy.
He could be crap all season if he's good in the playoffs. I don't care.
That's a good point.
I'm fine with that.
I would kind of take that.
We've never had a lights out playoff pitcher.
This is very fair. My counterpoint is I still don't trust him. I want to trust him. I want to like him. He seems like a nice enough guy. But I like that he's at least hiding from the media. He doesn't want to deal with it. He's trying to not make enemies, Kenley. Just saying. Anyways,
hanging out with his son.
That's our stuff on that. We hope you guys agree with some of it. We hope you guys agree with not that much of it. The game's about to start. Last one. Do we got time for the tweet of the week? I think it's game time.
I think we have to have time for tweet of the week.
Tweet of the week.
We gotta have time for it.
Damn it. The contender, it has to be. It's tweet of the week. It's the bend and snap. Another Sujo fire caption. Kike getting it done. Hands down, Sujo's the best. She's the best by far in the business. Sujo getting us into the game. She's already doing that fire content at the game. I mean, by now she's probably muted DN because, things, because most people.
We hit her up a lot.
But
we bug her a lot.
But yeah, Danny asked, before we get into more Sujo, Danny asked, just curious if you guys were alive in 88. Yes and no.
I was not alive in 88. No, I was not even a thought. Probably. Not like a THOT.
Yeah, I use that over there.
I was also not a thought.
But Kike he making the booty pop. And it was a great thing, but more importantly, the aftermath that Sujo was able to win over the heart of her hero, Reese Witherspoon.
That's the important part.
Yeah, she
Reese without her spoon.
Whatever, when in Rome, everything is all suspect. Anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Dodger game is on right now, so we're not going to ruin up Twittercast. But anybody here is on Twitter, Periscope, whatever it is. If you can't watch the game for some reason, if you don't know how to Reddit or know how to Dougie, whatever, we got you covered on Dodgers Nation, on Twitter.com/Dodgers Nation, because we tweet every game. You can't not hang out with us on Twitter and miss the funs that happened on the tweeter, as the kids say. Tweetsters. Anyways, find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to Blue Heaven on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Player FM, so many more. All the spots where podcasts exist.
And you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at RealFRG over here. I'm at BrookMe3. Thank you to our crack production team. In-studio audience of 35,000 people or whatever the number is. And thank you to all of you for making this broadcast so very special.
Go Dodgers.
We will see you next Thursday.
Bye.